Hey crew, and welcome back. Q4 is officially here. It is the first week of October, so I thought I would do a very special What I Am Sourcing Right Now episode of Your Selling Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to Your Selling Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Kirk, aka Your Selling Guide. I'm a small town girl who took a big risk and quit a steady corporate desk job to travel the US in an RV. Along the way, I started selling on Amazon, grew a 7-figure business, visited all the lower 48 states, bought a farm, and today I am still doing what I love to do, selling on Amazon while helping other sellers do it too. Each week, I will share Amazon tips and tricks and bring in guests to share their stories, expertise, and tips on the platforms that they use. Think of this as a sit down with your Amazon bestie where you can learn, ask, start, and grow your online selling business. Welcome to Your Selling Pod.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can probably see part of my shirt, but anyways, it's the Sorry Can't Sourcing by tie-dye shirt. You guys, I'm living and sourcing in these shirts Q4. I have Sorry Can't Q4 buy, so you can pick Q4 specific or get the regular sourcing for year round. They're super comfortable and you can get them at yoursellingguide.com/shirts. If you see me out and about wearing it, definitely stop me and say hi. And if you see others in the community out and about wearing them, stop them and say hi too. It's just a fun way to get to know everyone while we're outsourcing this Q4. Also, while we are outsourcing this Q4, you do not have to go it alone. So the Q4 Bolo group filled up in just 3 days, which was absolutely mind-blowing. But my regular baby OG Bolo group is still around to join. That group is a month-to-month Bolo group, so you can come for a month, come for a couple months, come for a whole year. However, it makes sense for your business, but it is so much more than just a Bolo leads list group. You have a whole community of Amazon sellers, including myself. I'm in there throughout the day answering questions and, of course, awesome leads, right? So you're going to get some really cool leads in the Bolo group. So definitely think about joining that this Q4. If you've never joined a community before, you are seriously going to love it because you're going to learn a whole lot. Okay, so this episode, I'm breaking down what I'm sourcing right now. So I'm going to go over my last 2 weeks of shipments. So normally throughout the rest of the year, I source every other week. I have what I call desk or office weeks where I'm getting stuff done at my desk. And then I have sourcing weeks because you source. It's a lot. You got to source, then you got to pack it all up, and it can take a lot of time away from whatever else you got going on, which for me is a whole lot. So now that Q4 is here, I'm sourcing every single week. So it's just, when that profit is there and that money's there to be made, I'm all in and I'm here for it. Now, of course, because I sell on Amazon, I am not going to tell you the specific items I'm sourcing, but I'm going to give you enough information to hopefully give you ideas or things to look for, or just to realize like, oh my gosh, that's what she sources. I don't source that at all. There's like a million things to source for Amazon. So these are just things that I'm sourcing. So hopefully it helps you. And I am not telling you the specific reasons because I sell on Amazon to make money. I don't sell for just the fun of it or a hobby of it or because I have courses and guides and groups and so I have to sell. No, I sell because I actually love it and I'm here to make money. So of course, I can't share what I'm actually selling while I'm selling it publicly. I never have. And unfortunately, I'm not going to start now because I need it to make money. And what happens when people share things publicly like that is that the prices start to come down, either because sellers don't totally understand Amazon and they think they have to drop the price in order to make a sale, which you don't have to do, or I really don't know. People, if they freak out, I don't know why price takers do what they do, but a lot of that happens to be if you share it publicly. So I'm not going to share anything publicly, but I'm going to give you enough information to know like what I'm sourcing right now. One of the number one questions I've been getting around Q4 sourcing specifically is what I'm changing about how I source. So I just told you I'm sourcing more often. That's a huge change, right? If you're going to source more often, you're going to have more products to send and sell. I also then need more capital, right? Because I'm going to source every week. So I am spending a lot more, but that's going to translate into making a lot more money. So beyond just that I'm sourcing more often, the only other real change I'm making, and you're going to see this as I go through what I'm sourcing right now, the only other change I'm making is that I'm adding in seasonal products. So right now I'm adding in Halloween products, Thanksgiving products, and even Christmas products because they're already in stores. So I'm just doing my regular go rounds of sourcing. So toy, beauty, grocery, home, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm adding into that seasonal items. So it's just an addition to my regular sourcing that I do year round. So with that, we'll get into it. Number one thing I'm sourcing right now, well, not the number one, but the number one thing I'm going to tell you right now that I'm sourcing is Halloween costumes. Now, Halloween is never going to get any easier to source. And if you don't have the time or you don't want to take the time, Halloween maybe is not the holiday for you. Costumes take forever to look up. I spent 3 hours at the Walmart costume aisle. Then I went the next week and spent 2 hours in the Walmart costume aisle. So that time never gets any better. I mean, I guess an hour was better, but you're going to identify products that make money. And so you'll kind of gravitate towards those kind of products or brands or characters, all that kind of stuff. But it's still going to take a lot of time. And the reason is those UPCs do not come up. You may get lucky and one will come up, but for the most part, they come up with nothing on Amazon. And the reason for that is because they are new. Every year there's new costumes. Now, sometimes there's some old and familiar ones, which I am selling ones I've sold in years past, but they just tend to like change something about them, kind of like inflatables. So same thing, Halloween inflatables, even Christmas inflatables, this will go for. They change something about it. So I have some Yoda inflatables. I can't remember what they're holding. They were holding maybe a pumpkin last year, and it's holding I don't know, another pumpkin that says something else this year. There's something about them that changes every year. So last year, I actually got a bunch of Halloween inflatables on clearance. Well, not a bunch. We're talking 12, like 3 different kinds, 12 units altogether. I didn't go too crazy because I didn't know what was going to happen. But last year on clearance, after Halloween, I got a bunch, 12 inflatables, and I held them in my shed for this year. Those ones are the only ones making money for me this year, because everything that's in store right now at Walmart for inflatables or Lowe's or Home Depot, there's a lot of different places, they are not making money because that race to the bottom with all the sellers. However, if you have the capital, if you've been doing this a while and you have the capital and the storage to hold them for the next year, that might be something you want to consider doing. If this is your first Q4 or second Q4 and you tight on funds, do not hold product and hope that it's going to sell. Just buy stuff that makes money now so that you can flip it and make that profit and turn that profit into more money and more profit, more inventory. Just keep that snowball going. So if you don't have the money to buy and hold, please do not buy and hold. Now, when you've scanned the front of the costume and you have found one that makes money, make sure you are covering all the prices. And I even cover the thing that says Walmart exclusive. You guys, those costumes at Walmart, even though they are packaged and they seem like you shouldn't really open them or shouldn't need to, there is a hidden hang tag that has the price in the armpit of every single costume. I'm not kidding. So you have to open them up, rip off that hang tag. It's pretty easy. You can just like slice it where the hole is, or you can just pull the whole hang tag off. And I do my very best. They are time consuming. Halloween costumes are not only time consuming to initially source, they are really time consuming to pack up. So make sure that profit is worth it. Never expect a thing to go up in price. It's almost always going to go down in price. So if you're spending $20 and it makes $5 now and you're hoping it's going to go up and make $10 so you can have that 50% ROI, the chances are it's actually going to go down and you're not going to make any money on it. So consider all these things when you're sourcing Halloween costumes, because they are time consuming to pack, to source, all of it. Now, I use these black labels. If you are watching on YouTube, I will show them on the screen. They are in the show notes of this episode for all of you listening. They are black. They're called Green. Royal Green is the brand, I think, on Amazon. They just go right over the price. I've never had any issues with that. I have been selling with these black labels for 3 years now. Never once had a customer complaint. Never heard of anyone in the bolo groups having a customer complaint. So perfectly safe. Just cover up the price. Take off that hang tag, like really double check. Even inflatables. Those inflatables have prices all over, things like 5 or 6 times. Cover up that price with the black label. The red labels, the white labels, don't be fooled into thinking that those are like going to go. I got red 2 years ago because I was like, oh, for the Christmas boxes, right? No, those things are see-through. So just black, unfortunately, but it works.
Q4 is here. It is the best time of the year as an Amazon seller, but if you don't know what's going on with your profits, your money, your business, do you really know if that business and product is making any money? This is why I love Sellerboard and why I've partnered with them on the Your Selling podcast. Sellerboard truly is the best way for an Amazon seller to see their true business, how much profit you're making on a product, and better yet, why I love it, it forecasts out your total sales for the month, and you can see by quarter, by month, or by the entire year how much money your items are making you. We all know different things come up in Amazon business, from returns to various Amazon fees. All of it is broken down in Sellerboard because, like I've said, if you don't know your business numbers, you don't know what's going on. And as new small business owners, that's the area that gets fallen behind because we truly don't totally understand it. So why not use this software to fully understand what's going on? Sellerboard is offering my listeners 2 months free, no credit card required. All you got to do is head to yoursellingguide.com/sellerboardprofit and sign up. Again, you just log into your Amazon account in Sellerboard and everything is pulled over, including all your past items you've ever had. Enter in your cost of goods, and finally, you will see the true profit picture of what's going on in your business. Again, try it 2 months free at yoursellingguide.com/sellerboardprofit and really understand your business this Q4.
Other items I sent in the last 2 weeks, sunscreens. So it is still hot. People are still going on vacation. So don't give up on sunscreens. In fact, they're a hot item right now to be sourcing because they're on clearance. They're on clearance at TJ Maxx, on Marshalls. They're also on clearance at the Walmart clearance aisle. So definitely sunscreens are a hot item year round. People always need sunscreen. I feel like my bread and butter is always health and beauty. It's my favorite thing to source, and I source a lot of it. So 2 weeks ago, I flew back to Oregon to source Grocery Outlet specifically, and I loaded up on a lot of health and beauty products. Now, I've been to Ollie's since then. I went to Ollie's last week, and they had a lot of the same stuff that Grocery Outlet had. So it doesn't, if you ever hear me or another seller or even in the bolo group, someone say Grocery Outlet, don't write that bolo off just because it is at Grocery Outlet and you don't have one near you. Same thing with Ollie's. Just because someone says Ollie's and you don't have an Ollie's near you, don't write that lead off just because like I just said, they show up at Ross, at TJ Maxx, and Grocery Outlet. In fact, a lot of the times Grocery Outlet is more expensive than those other stores, which is kind of annoying. But the trade-off is that they usually have a lot more of it on shelf than the other stores. But I sell a lot of health and beauty. We're talking lotions. I got a lot of baby health and beauty items. So shampoos, bubble baths, just all that kind of stuff. I'm selling toilet bowl cleaner. You guys, I don't care. If it makes money, I'm selling it. So scan everything. If you're new and you're just starting out, you have to scan everything. And honestly, don't ever stop scanning everything because there's so much stuff out there that makes money. Just because you don't like it, you wouldn't buy it, it's weird to you. That usually means it makes more money on Amazon. I also sourced a lot of kids' shoes. Now, I do clothing and shoes off and on. I don't love adult stuff just because the return rate for adult stuff is really high. It's about 50% return rate. Whereas kids, because kids are kind of the same size and people know the kid's size, it's a little safer, a little bit less returns. Whereas adult, especially women's items, have so many different sizes based on the brand that nothing quite fits right. It's the joys of being a woman. That sell a large could be fine in one brand, but totally like way too small or way too big in another brand. So that's the reason that there's so many returns. And Amazon is really pushing. I think I read that Amazon is now the #1 like clothing retailer, which is just so dumb. Personally, I would never buy clothes on Amazon. It's just a horrible shopping experience. And when you buy clothes, you want to really look at the images. Anyways, that's just my own shopping thing. But because of how many returns adult shoppers on Amazon have, they take advantage of Amazon's very nice customer return policy. So because of that, I tend to do clothing for kids specifically. So yeah, I got some kids' shoes. I also got Squishmallows. And in fact, the only other toys I got in the last 2 weeks were clearance toys or this one hot bolo lead that is, I shared in the group. It's a hot lead of a bolo for toys. But I really shockingly didn't source a whole lot of toys. I love toys, especially during Q4, but as of right now, toys are very small on what I'm sourcing. I got a lot of home items, so blankets, pillows, kitchen items, things to cook with, things to help you in the kitchen storage. Like literally, there's so much kitchen and stuff out there. That's also really good if you are a new seller. So, the one thing I want to say, if you're a new seller and you're gated and stuff, don't focus on what you cannot sell because it's really easy to get into that negative mindset and spiral and go, I can't sell this, I can't sell this, I can't sell anything. There's so much stuff out there that you can sell, and home and kitchen is an awesome category because it's ungated. Now, there are brands within it. So I can't sell KitchenAid. They locked that brand down a couple years ago. I could sell it for a while, but then they gated it for everyone. I can sell Cuisinart though. And you might not be able to sell Cuisinart right now, but if you keep asking, you could get auto approved. Always ask for approval. You can go get ungated. I have ungating guides, or you can go get an invoice on your own. You can get ungated, but if you can't because of money reasons or time or whatever it is, don't focus on what you can't sell. Focus on what you can. Don't get caught up in that negative mindset. Instead, be like, okay, I can't sell that. Marked, known, check it off in your mind and go down the aisle and scan what you can sell. I also sourced a lot of grocery items this last 2 weeks. Now, it's not like the most. I would say the category I did the most is health and beauty, but grocery is probably a third or fourth in line after Halloween costumes. I did do a lot of Halloween costumes. I'm also selling like adult diapers. Like there's stuff out there that, again, just because you don't need it, don't like it, don't want it, whatever, doesn't mean it's not selling on Amazon. In line with that sunscreen, I'm selling canning items because canning season is not over, but it's over for retail, who's already moved over into Halloween and now the holiday stuff, right? So now it's harder to find that stuff in store. So if you find it in store, it's most likely going to make more money on Amazon. So I'm selling canning stuff. People need it for to give gifts. They make cookies or whatever, and they give gifts or jam or whatever it is for the holidays. So cans and canning items are definitely still needed. And so make the most of it on Amazon. I'm also selling cleaning supplies. You guys, hopefully that's the whole list of all the different things. Like there's a ton of stuff that I'm scanning, a wide variety. I always go wide and not deep. So I might go deep. I bought some pet products. I bought 24 of them. They all sold out in the last 2 weeks since I've purchased them. So that's one of the bad things about travel sourcing is I can't go back and get more of them, but they all already sold out. So there's definitely a need for all different kinds of items on Amazon. It is a huge marketplace and you can sell a lot of different stuff. Now, toys are hot for Q4, but like I mentioned, I'm not really selling a whole lot of toys at the moment. I don't know what the hot toy or brand is going to be. I have an idea about the costumes, which ones are hot, but I still don't know because I'm recording this on October 2nd. So it could be any item or any costume still here to come. From here on out, though, for Halloween costumes, I am only going to be FBMing them, and they're super easy to FBM. They'll probably cost at the most $7. I just put them in a poly mailer. So those opaque, the white poly mailers, you can just grab them off Amazon. And I get I think it's 18 by 24. It fits all sizes of Halloween costumes. You can just put it in there and send it out in the mail. As soon as I know what hot costume is, we're going to be talking about it in the bolo group. So just like I said, I shared that hot toy lead in the bolo group. Well, there's also hot costumes and things this holiday season that are going to be shared in the bolo group. So if you want to join, I highly recommend getting in with the community is so important. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it a million times. You learn from other sellers. You might not even know that you needed to learn anything, and you're going to learn so much. So already, like I said, it is the 2nd when I'm recording this, and the October bolo sheet is already up and out. Already it has over 20 items on it, and here are the averages of the list. It's a really good list already. The current sales rank, if you average them all, is 74,000 in sales rank, which is an awesome sales rank, right? The profit, the average bolo profit is $13.23 right now, and the average ROI, you guys, is 166%. Like I said, it's only the 2nd of October, and this is already the solid lead list. So you've got the solid lead list. Add with that the community of sellers where you can ask questions all the time. I'm in there all the time answering questions, and so are all the other awesome, helpful community of sellers in there. So you got the leads, you got the information, and you're going to go out and have the best Q4 yet. So join me there today. It's yoursellingguide.com/bolo, and we can hang out there, chat more, and of course, get those really profitable leads. Hopefully this episode helped you just kind of know. Let me know if you liked it or not. First of all, if you want to know what I'm sourcing right now, I thought it was a great idea, but you're going to tell me if it's a good idea or not, what I'm sourcing. Because I think it just like, I mean, I would like to know what you're sourcing right now, because it just kind of opens up your mind to different things, which is again what the Bolo group does. You see all the different leads on the list. So let me know in the comments on YouTube if you enjoyed this episode. And of course, let me know in the Bolo group if you're listening. Can't wait to hang out with you there. Until next week, happy sourcing.